Hi Stella, to answer your question, I initially wanted to do the usual dummy measurement with white fabric and explain what I did in that video. But I thought about it and decided to do a voiceover on the original video instead. If you look at the comment section of that video, a lot of people asked me to do a voiceover or a subtitle, so this is it. Begin with your regular bustier bodice. This is a straight cut bust cup. I already have everything done and ready on both the lining and the fabric. The neckline is a U-neck neckline that I brought down with 5.5, and the width, I can't remember exactly what width I used, but I think the width here was 4, that is 8 when you open it. So that's what I have there. Next, you create the asymmetric neckline. So you do that by bringing down one side of the neck. I brought mine down with 5.5. That is to line up with what I already have there as my neck depth. So I just continue down with a straight line. And then from there, I'm going to curve it into the armhole because I actually wanted the black band to go under the armhole. So that was why I curved it this way. So you go into the back. Now for the back, you do the same thing, the same 5.5. When I'm working with off shoulders or asymmetric necklines, I like to take down the zip area by 1.5 or 2. It helps the zip to relax when the person wears it, so we don't have a funny bulge at the back. That's what I did there. I took 5.5 at the armhole area and I took it down at the zip area by 1.5. So now what I've joined the shoulder to one side of the back, that is the side that has a shoulder line. So I have joined that side to it and I'm going to use it to create the cape. So now I am placing the two parts I've put together on the black fabric so I can trace it out and create the cape. You'll notice that I did not continue the tracing along the armhole. I went straight instead. I did that so that by the time you fold that straight line over the curve, it will create enough space for the bust that will come out at that point. You still have to make sure that that straight line is the same length as the curve of the armhole, which is what I'm doing there. So it's 7 on the armhole and I made it 7 on the straight line too. So you will notice that when I start working on the other side, I am not going to continue the way it is because the slant of the shoulder has changed its form. If you notice, I want the front to continue into the back in a straight line. Can you see? I want it to go all the way straight because if we do it slanted the way it was, it will not have that flare effect, that drapey effect that it's having in the original design. So it has to continue straight so that there's enough space for it to fall on the shoulders and drape. What I'm doing now is to mark out the cape length. So I'm going to continue that line down all the way and extend the other side just so it can take the shape as in the picture. I am going to create another copy of this cape, but I just want to place it on the border so you can see what it looks like. You will notice that that straight line is sitting perfectly on the curve because it's accommodating the bust cup. If we did not do it as a straight line, it will not relax on that bust cup, it will press it down. So now for the back, I'm going to make sure that the band is as wide as the one used on the other side of the back, and then I'm cutting a straight line that will form the cape on the other end of the back, just like you're seeing it. Once you do that, all you need to do is just pin it down and then cut out the extra from the armhole when you turn it to the other side. So at this point, I have turned the cape with the other copy. I've sewn it to the Ankara and turned it with the lining. So the cape is in between the lining and the Ankara right now for both the front and the back. So that's about it. And now we're going into the sleeve. So for the sleeve, the first thing you do is to create a regular full shoulder sleeve. That's what we're going to do now. So I'm going to mark out a regular full shoulder sleeve for the full shoulder side, because you know we have two different sides. We have the full shoulder side and we have the off shoulder side. So this is for the full shoulder. So to make this easier for you, I'll suggest you create a regular long sleeve, just a regular plain old long sleeve, and then create those extensions on each side. Can you see? Now the extension on this outer end is what's going to form the draping of the dotty. If we take this out, this is what you have, which is what I was doing there. I'll do a proper video on dotty. If you are interested in it, please let me know in the comment section. But this is basically it. That extension on that part I'm cutting now is going to drop and form the draping that you see on the dotty sleeve. So I am going to curve it in a little just to make the drape more dramatic. So over to the off shoulder sleeve. Now what I do for asymmetric dresses like this, where one side is the full shoulder and one side is the off shoulder, I cut the full shoulder first, and then I use the full shoulder to cut the off shoulder. The only difference now is I am going to measure the armhole on the off shoulder sleeve. Whatever I get as the armhole on the off shoulder sleeve, I will divide it into two and use it to measure where you can see me measuring now. So I will measure that plus my sewing allowance and mark, and then it's from there that I will now cut out the off shoulder sleeve. Everything else is practically the same, as you can see. What's different now is that I'm cutting out the off shoulder. I'm putting that extra that you saw me mark out so that I can use it as a facing for the top part of the off shoulder sleeve, because there's no lining for the sleeve. So that place that I left extra, you see me cut, it looks funny because I've not yet cut it out properly, but it's going to serve as my facing. So when I'm done now, I will fold it and properly cut it to match the sleeve so that it can serve as a facing. Okay, see what I mean by facing? So I'm folding it over now and I'm going to cut it properly. So you can see that by that now I have created a facing there already. So that place is already finished. I don't need to put any lining and it's going to look smooth and nice.